welcome to REZOcast, episode 99. I don't really know how we made it 99 episodes without somebody getting killed, like Triton, at the beginning of every episode. But anyway, I'm Hove. We are missing Lego and Mana this week, but I brought along the man who's proving himself to be the Alpha Asian, now that Mana doesn't show up. Triton.
That's true, especially.
Wilson.
No Mana.
And we brought some other guy. I don't really know who he is. Someone called him the True Vanguard. But
it's definitely the True Vanguard.
The True Vanguard, yes.
See you now.
But yeah, so we got TV here with us. What's up, man? How you been?
Hey, I'm fantastic. Life is good. Busy but good.
That's kind of how I feel. It's been a long week, and I'm sick, and I just want to point out that Lego's sick and he didn't show up, but I'm sick and I showed up because I'm a better podcast
That's because
host.
men go to work. You know,
This is true.
I heard Lego has a man cold, is what I've been told, but real men show up. That's the reality of it.
This is true. But how about you guys? Triton, what have you been up to this week? How's things?
It's been a really good week. So I've getting really back into Destiny. I think early last week actually, because I missed the show last week, unfortunately. But I did get all 3 characters to the Solstice armor.
Real men show up.
400 triumphs. So you know, I've been able to do all those things and kind of back on that like weekly grind schedule and just getting ready for Forsaken. So pretty excited for what's going on in Destiny. I think I've tried pretty much everything recently that Destiny has to offer. Things I didn't even do for the whole first year. I think the moments of triumphs kind of like force you to do that, so that was kind of cool. And
you got the Whisper?
Yeah.
You got the Whisper?
I did get the Whisper. I got the Whisper. I got the
Whisper.
Singe last week, so I got the blueprints for the ship. So as long as I do it this week with at least like 30%, and next week I'll get the Catalyst too at the end and the ship. So
Sweet.
On a good schedule. But
Cool.
How about you? TV, won't we go with you?
With me on what? What's the question?
Or on the week, or we can just throw it to Wilson.
It was that the question I
Oh,
already
I'll
asked
do
you,
it the
TV. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't listen to Triton.
The week is good. Yeah, I'll pass because I already answered.
Well, my week has been pretty cool. It's been nice, moderate weather for work, and Sam picked me up a Destiny coloring book from Target. I'm
That's
excited
awesome.
to get
That
into this.
That is pretty fantastic.
There's actually some, really cool pictures in here. I can give Cade 6 like a new shader if I want to color him a different color.
Do Periwinkle. I've always thought he would look great in Periwinkle.
Yeah, I might do that one for you. And like each picture you can color like has like little posters in there as well, so like you can kind of see what like they're supposed to look like.
Who was that next to Cade in that one picture? Was that Martha Stewart?
Yes,
okay.
100%. Yeah, it's a Destiny Martha Stewart combo coloring book. I was trying to keep that on the DL, but thanks for busting me out, dude.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I got
it.
you. No problem, Sam.
How does Target have like Destiny coloring books and like they can't properly stock like some of just like the regular 2 liters of like Coke 90% of the time? I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed there. I mean, they have so many Destiny things. Like went there the other day, literally nothing I wanted to drink for their 4 for 5
I mean,
deal,
do you think maybe it's because everybody drinks liquid to stay alive and not everybody plays Destiny?
Well,
and
not
buys...
everyone drinks Coke to stay alive.
But people
I do.
drink. Yeah, you lose,
love me some
Triton. It's not your
Coca-Cola.
week, man. You're having a.
I hate
you're
your
having
floppy comments. Let's move on.
My what?
Your floppy comments.
Floppy works. We also would have accepted Flaccid.
Oh yes, judges. Yes, we take Flaccid. So this is a Destiny podcast. Sometimes we do talk about Destiny, and I just want to start out by saying that we get to all play Forsaken for 24 hours, no matter what. If you have Destiny 2, how about that?
Let's clarify. You don't get to play Forsaken for 24 hours.
Damn it, Gambit!
Let's clarify. Yes.
I'm
Call.
Out here
sick.
spreading
I'm sick.
misinformation.
Oh man.
I blame Triton.
Let me start reaching for excuses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we have a new host of the podcast.
Yes, Hope is now gone. Finally.
Well, I'm glad my co-host jumped in to help me out there, but thank you, TV, for being the one to correct me. I do appreciate
it.
I do appreciate somebody helping out. But no, I think that is pretty awesome. I mean, obviously it's a it's a marketing thing. They want to bring people in, but yeah, I mean that's great. Everyone who has Destiny 2 gets to play Gambit for 24 hours. What is it? September 1st?
Yes.
Bingo.
So we're getting there. Is it a week? Next week?
Yeah, that's next Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday.
Yeah. I know a day I'm staying up for 24 hours. It's gonna be awesome, man.
You know, they're doing it. Have you guys remember any time they've allowed us to have access to like a piece of content like that, especially something that's going to be new prior to any of the other DLCs or in the release? I mean, not like a beta per se, but just kind of like a specific segment of the content. I was trying to think about that today. I couldn't think of anything that we were able to do. Like, I don't remember able to do like Prison of Elders early or anything like that.
They dropped private matches early, right? Before Rise of Iron. Didn't they have?
No, they did.
They were
yeah,
like
they did that
Gamescom.
literally right on the. Yeah, they did that right on the at the conclusion of the MLG tournament.
That's what it was. Yeah.
In Ohio.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we know anyone that was a part of that?
No one that's notable or that performed well.
No, I do want to point out that for anybody who doesn't know who TV is, all you have to do is look up, maybe like Gambit Tournament Guardian Con Surprise Face or something along that nature, and that's probably what he's best known for, because that was fantastic. Well, I mean, it's pretty good. I was pretty happy with that.
Got banned off Twitter.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Twitter's bad boy.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's right.
That's true.
The bad boy of Twitter.
I still think I'm followed by the other account you thought you might have to make initially, like because they didn't ban you right away. So
every now and then I'd switch over to that account and just say something stupid.
I do want to point out that account had more followers than the three of us combined in like an hour.
Yeah,
and still does.
That Twitter.
Sorry.
It's got some clout. It's in there.
Yeah.
What's that word mean? Clout. I've not heard that before.
It's got what would be
I'm old.
Good way of putting it. It's got
like upstanding, some gravity to it.
Yeah, it's upstanding. It's the upper echelon of Twitter accounts.
I know that word, echelon.
I actually, you know what? I just realized I think you're actually the youngest person on this podcast today. So you don't get to say by a couple years.
Why are you calling him out on his age, bro?
No, he was just saying he was old, and I was saying you were not old.
Why you gotta come up in here with authority like Ruth Bader? Like, who do you think you are?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
Well, if that's the case for the rest of the podcast, I'm just calling you Grandpa.
Who's the old?
Wait, you're older than me by a couple months, Hove.
Then it's Wilson. Can Wilson be I'll call you Grandpa. You want me to call you Daddy?
That's weird.
No, you crossed the line.
Pretty sure I am. Pretty sure I am the oldest one.
Go ahead.
No, I am good.
With the comment with like we haven't played anything that early in a specific part that's coming with the DLC, we'll start with you, TV. What does that say about where Bungie's at and their confidence in Gambit? I think I saw a tweet actually, and I don't know who to credit it to, but someone made a suggestion like, Bungie must really believe in this game mode if they're going to put this out there for people to play, then hopefully try to get more people into Forsaken. So they obviously don't think this is going to be something that's going to fail for them. So from your perspective, what does that say about Forsaken and the fact that you've played Gambit? Do you think this is going to bring a lot of people in?
I think that Bungie's confidence levels in the product that they're about ready to ship us is pretty high. I think that, even with some of the feedback they've gotten on Forsaken content early via the summit, and I mean, everybody knows that the people who got to go to the summit got to have some input. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the end product. I don't know how that, really translated into actual physical changes. I'm not sure, but we know that they took it seriously enough to gather a fair amount of input early enough to make sure that they're going to ship something that the community is going to love. And these people, they're not stupid devs either.
Right.
I mean, they have shipped products in the past that people across the world have eaten up. So I think it speaks volumes, knowing their confidence levels in this product speaks volumes. I'm excited about it. They've shown a lot of things early. They've talked about a lot of things early. They've talked about the sandbox changes in detail. The cinematics look really, really cool. I don't know, man. I think that they are definitely confident, and I think that they are definitely playing their cards right too, in order to hype up the community. They're playing their cards right in order to get new people involved. I mean, we've seen sales on Destiny that were timed pretty intentionally to get people hooked on the game right before Forsaken. And I would be surprised if they don't still have more tricks up their sleeve to make this launch really notable.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything that even the Bungie haters can argue. They know what they're doing with hype and marketing and getting people to be excited. Now, whether they've always come through recently, that's a question for another day and other people. But they know how to get people hooked.
Yeah, I got some friends that have stepped away from the game for quite a while, and they're back into it right now. Like looking in the Tower Life Discord, I haven't seen Great American Hero and Conman playing Destiny in a while, so it's pretty cool, man.
My friends list roster in game has never been as full as it is these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is really cool.
I was just say the one thing I was thinking the other day. I don't know what really made me have this thought, but it was something that you see all these times where people, Bungie makes an attempt at whatever it may be, a new mechanic, new content, whatever, and maybe it falls flat, and you get all these people who get so mad that Bungie, we told you we wanted this, why didn't you just give us this, like this is what we wanted. And it kind of like hit me the other day that even if it does something like that does fall flat, like you have to applaud the fact that they would rather take something and try to create something new and go somewhere that hasn't been done. Because if they didn't do stuff like that, you wouldn't have ever had a game like Halo, which was, completely like crazy and big for its time. And even Destiny, that with all its problems has kind of started its own, growing genre of games, this like spacey looter shooter, space magic type thing. So I don't think I can ever fault them again for taking a swing, even if it's a big miss, just because, you never know what could come of it.
I would agree with that. I definitely don't think Forsaken is going to be like the Spanglish of the DLCs that we're going to get here, and it's just going to be just this terrible, terrible tread movie or things like that.
You didn't like Spanglish?
No, dude. Wait, Spanglish is definitely that movie like we talk about. Like, look, when Adam Sandler went from like I'm super funny doing all these movies to I'm gonna try to do like these serious ones, and I think like Click was in there. Spanglish was around that time, like mid 2000s. It's like you were expecting one thing and you got another thing, and I don't think Forsaken's gonna be like that. I think it's going to be what people expect, and I feel like at this point in time the community is really mature and they expect quite a bit. So I do think it's gonna deliver from everything we've seen so far.
I liked Click.
Analogy.
I mean, Click wasn't bad. It's just that's when he takes that turn, and it's just like this. It's not like Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore.
I actually saw an article the other day that was all about the huge numbers that Adam Sandler movies get on Netflix these days.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Because they're all on there.
I don't know. They were like, the headline was like Netflix users watch the crap out of Adam Sandler or something like that, and I was like, oh, okay,
interesting. But we are talking a lot about the communities and, hopefully getting a lot of people back. Wilson's talking about Tower Life. I know the Resolute clan list has been really, really popular on PS4. I think we almost get like 2 pages some nights and especially on the weekends. But speaking of communities, TV, I know you launched your Frontlines community not that long ago. And just kind of really curious about, what prompted you to kind of do a community kind of associated with, your brand, so to speak, at this time. And, how has it been in the first, month or two of existence?
Almost overwhelming. See, to field those questions in sequence, I've been streaming for 3 years, and I can't remember a time when there was not a demand within our community, our sub community there on Twitch. I can't remember a time where there wasn't a demand for a clan. And I've always had that question consistently throughout the years. Hey, do you have a community clan? Are you going to launch a True Vanguard clan? And at the time, I've been in Resolute, and I'm focused on my content. I'm focused on my channel. And I knew that I just didn't have the, I didn't have the time to devote the leadership that it would need. And I wasn't going to leave Resolute to be the leader of a clan, But over the course of these few years, we've raised up such a fantastic, I hope they're not listening because it'll go to their heads, but my moderator team on Twitch are wonderful people, and they're deeply committed to our community, and they're deeply committed to Destiny. And so I got to the point where I had enough confidence in these people to say, you know what, I trust you guys to handle the day-to-day. And I pitched it to them, said, you guys think we can pull this off? And they're like, heck yeah, we can pull this off. So we did it. We said, all right, let's do it. Let's make that commitment. Let's say, excuse me, let's say if you're a sub here on Twitch, you know, and we knew we had to limit it to subs because you know, the channel is what now 1,400 people are subscribed, so that's a lot of people to try and manage in clans. That's a lot. So in order for us to even to be able to handle it, we had to keep it limited. So we make that commitment. We say, okay, if you're a sub, get in the Discord, say you want to be in a clan if you don't have an active clan, or if you have no clan at all, or you don't like the clan you're in, and we promise we'll create a space for you. And sure enough, we've got a PC clan, we've got an Xbox One clan, we've got 2 PS4 clans. The first clan that we launched filled up in a weekend. Like, it was, people jumped all over it, and it was so cool to see that roster filling. I literally for 2 days straight, I had the Destiny app pulled up on my phone, and I just kept refreshing that clan. Our Frontlines clan on PS4, I just kept refreshing it and seeing the roster fill up, and I was like, I know him, I know her, I know him, I know her. She's always in chat, he's always in chat. Super cool guy, right? You know, so it's just so cool to see them all have a new avenue to continue to build their relationships with one another. And I love that it's something that I interact with them. You know, I've done protocol with them, I've done Iron Banner with the people in the Frontlines clans, but they are their own entity, and these people are creating their own friendships, their own raid groups, and they're going to head into Forsaken with some chemistry with players. And a lot of them have said, I've never been in a clan like this, a clan that's this active or this responsive to LFG. I've never been in that environment before, and they're loving it. And then there's other people who say, I've never been in a clan before at all. This is a wonderful first time experience for me. And they're making relationships and connections. You know, it's just a wonderful outlet for these people. So it's going fantastic. I love the way it's going so far.
You nailed it, man. I watched Tefty Teft when he started Earthquake Weather and Earthquake Weather 2, 3, and 4, and you know, all this stuff. And it is really cool that you can trust some people enough to handle that for you. And I think you nailed it when you said you start seeing all these positive relationships growing and the chemistry before a big DLC. Like, that's going to be huge. Like, they're going to be more motivated now than ever before. And I think that kind of goes with what we were saying earlier about more people coming back to the game. When you have a good clan, like, sometimes you don't even know what you want to log on for. You just want to hang out with the homies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so that's awesome, man. Congrats, by the way, on all your subscribers too. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a crazy month. People are really excited about the Forsaken. I mean, I see it just from streaming Destiny all the time. I see the hype. I see how players are getting really excited for it, and people are excited to get into. I mean, I'll be honest. There are some people who would not have subscribed to me for me. The only reason that they subscribed this past month is because they wanted to be in a clan that was active, and I understand that. Part of me is like, oh man, that's a bummer, but the other part of me is like, you know, but honestly, that's kind of cool too, that they're that excited to commit to something and they want to contribute to a clan and be a part of a clan. That's cool too. So,
well, I think it's important to remember too that, you know, even if that's the reason they go in, I think they're going to come to find, and I was going to say this before we even mentioned that part, like that I was really happy to see, you know, the whole front lines and the clan and everything you got going, because that just seems like something that was so natural for you and your community that you fostered on Twitch. Because, you know, like you said, you maybe didn't have the time and everything, and now you kind of felt ready to do it, but it always felt like something that, you know, just the way you've always conducted yourself on stream and the people that you've brought in that, you know, all kind of play together and know each other, and it has always been, whether it was official or not, its own like little community, you know. So I think those people that, you know, maybe they did, like you said, just, oh, I need a clan, I'm gonna sub. I think it's important to note that I think they'll find it to be much more than that, you know, knowing the people that are in your community and your mods, other than Cobb.
Yeah, no one likes Cobb.
Man, you already inflated his ego just by saying his name on the podcast. Come on.
But no, so you know, like I said, I was really happy to see that, because I think it felt like something that really was natural coming from your stream, and I'm happy to see it growing the way it has. So yeah, good job on that for sure.
Yeah, thanks. I can't take the credit though. It's really my moderator team.
And as someone who has 2 people in that clan, I can certainly attest to how active the LFG is. You know, people were willing to jump on and help at me on my son's account, but get the blue armor, get it to legendary, and they were super responsive. I think I did one with Reap and another one in there that was great. And then just earlier on today, my coworker, I recommended him for the clan, and I gifted him a sub to come in, and he was like TV saying, like, he's not a big Twitch guy. He happened to have a Twitch account. He's like, oh, I found it, but wasn't, really an active watcher. And then he played with some people today, and he was like, dude, this is awesome. Thank you so much for, recommending me into this clan and doing this LFG. I mean, this is great. I mean, I have people to play with. So it's certainly, you have people who are coming in for all different reasons. And yeah, like I think everyone said it's been a positive experience and pretty good time, right, for Forsaken.
Yeah, I agree. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Thanks for sharing that.
Look at you, Triton, changing lives a day at a time. So moving on to something that, while is really cool, is also a little bit more of a downer, because Bungie showed off a little cinematic of Cade's last moments. I thought it was pretty badass. We don't get to see the finished, how it ends, but that was a pretty badass trailer, and I can't wait to see. Can't wait to see how it goes down.
Yeah, for sure.
That trailer was really cool for a magnitude of reasons. It's one of the first trailers we got to see, like, a plethora, like all the gunslinger abilities. Like, we saw the double jump, we saw the throwing knives.
Yeah.
We saw him try to activate his golden gun, and then got bird dogged by one of those, by one of the bad guys. But I had all this, like, pent up aggression towards Prince Uldren, and he wasn't even really anywhere in that battle. He was just kind of hanging out, camping somewhere, like letting his team do all the work. And now I'm almost kind of more pissed at the fallen guys, you know what I mean?
Scorn.
The Barons, Scorn. Yeah, I'm more ready to go after them than I am Uldren now. Like that, it set a whole new tone for me. Like, it was cool because we got the funny side of Cade, and then we got some, like, kind of really deep stuff, you know what I mean? That, like, normally Cade has a line that kind of makes you chuckle, even though if he's getting his butt kicked, you know what I mean? But that trailer was really cool. I was a little worried about watching it beforehand, but, like, I'm really glad that I did now. So, because it's got me pumped to go after those Barons.
The whole putting up the hood at the end and the see you soon ace. Oh man, that
right
just
fields,
that got
dude.
me.
Yeah.
That got me.
Home, mate.
Yeah,
Coming home.
that's what it was.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
we got
rough.
To see we got to see one of the new supers.
Yeah, you got to see the throwing knives.
When they were all standing around him, stomping him, I'm like, no, this can't be it. He's not going out to, getting stomped out like that.
He's not going out like no bitch.
All them knives. I was like, what? It was really cool. It was kind of cool to see for a little bit, just kind of a serious side of Cade.
I thought it was cool too. Did you notice? I don't know if we've ever seen it because it really isn't a big thing. But even the kind of the double jump animation, it had the little like glow below him whenever he did like the second jump. That was kind of cool to see because that was something they didn't have to put in. It wasn't like showing off a super, but it made it feel more like the game, like
it feels more familiar. Jump. I mean, as someone who has played historically a ton of Gunslinger, like as he's moving, I'm identifying,
Yeah.
No, then do this.
Yeah, that was really cool. Like I said, small thing, but that kind of stuck out to me. But Wilson, to your point, I think it makes me more mad at Uldren because unless they did some sort of misleading images and trailers earlier, we know that Uldren's the one who kills him, right? Finishes
ultimately,
the job.
but it's not.
But he didn't do the hard work,
right? Yeah, well, that's exactly why I hate him. He's chilling somewhere, letting them do all the work, and then he walks out and just shoots Cade like he's like some badass.
He's still gonna get his, don't worry. But like, I'm more worried about getting to those other 8. 'Cause those guys were savage. Like, dude was all like hanging up on the ceiling and like just sitting there ready to pick his shot. Like, dude, hard scoping, like taking forever, but he picked his moment when he shot Cade's ghost, and that was just kind of like, first of all, that was like a sad but beautiful display of like a light explosion, I guess you could say, because that's pretty much what it was.
It was kind of like when the Traveler exploded on a smaller scale.
It was like a contained Traveler explosion. But yeah, it was, I don't know, man, it was kind of scary. Like, I also find it kind of hard to believe that dude hanging on the ceiling was the first enemy to think of. Well, why don't we just shoot their ghosts? Like, but I get it. I'm sorry, but it's cool.
Immersion broken.
I know, immersion broken. I ruined the whole thing. Next topic.
Well, do you guys think so? I was having to be in Mana's chat at the time, and they were like, some people were like, well, hey, we already kind of seen how Cade ends, why'd they change it and things like that. I always felt that after seeing that scene, that maybe the one we saw today leads to that ultimate scene, right? Cade gets up one more time.
I definitely think so.
And then that's it. So I kind of thought it wasn't really two different deaths. It was literally, he probably doesn't die. So that was kind of my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? Do you also think it was just kind of what that one leads into what we'd already seen?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think they'll keep the continuity. But also just seeing the two separate cinematics to me gives me, and we touched on this just briefly ago, it gives me a little bit of I don't know, maybe insight into Aldrin's psyche, because at least my perception of him, and with some of the themes that we've heard repeated throughout all of these little releases about the Forsaken, they keep touching on this theme of walking this fine line of what's right and what's wrong, light and dark, and living in the gray. And Aldrin's sort of having that struggle. He's in the gray. And there's a lot of, I don't even remember where we heard this from, but one of the devs talked about sort of Aldrin's motivations and his desire to have a positive outcome, but willing to do whatever it takes to get there. And so he's embracing the dark to try and accomplish what he thinks is right. And so I sense his struggle. Like, he doesn't want to be down there beating on Cade. He doesn't want to be down there doing the hard work. And he's kind of like, I let the beast out. I'm going to fade to the back because I don't want to deal with this struggle of what's good, what's right, what's light, what's dark. You know what I mean? And I think that, we see this everywhere. For example, my neighbors one door down just moved out. They sold their house. New family came in. My neighbors were filthy people. They didn't take care of the house, didn't take care of the inside. It was nasty. So when they went to close on the house, they requested separate closings. They didn't want to have to look at the people who were moving into their mess. And so I sense this with Aldrin. Like, he's got that struggle, and he doesn't want to. He's delaying until that last possible moment that he actually has to face Cade, knowing this is a guardian of the light, and I got to put him down. He wants to delay that confrontation. Maybe it stirs something up in him that's uncomfortable. I don't know. Maybe I'm overanalyzing.
No, that's a good one. That's pretty deep. I like that. That's way deeper than mine. I was gonna say, if you just want to like an insight to Aldrin's psyche or what he's like, just go to any local mall Hot Topic, and that's pretty much it. Like,
Are they still open?
The one Aldrin's hanging out in is,
and
I'm pretty sure
the one Holtz is running, right?
Yeah, that's right. It makes a lot of sense now.
I agree with TV's narrative. That could be a good one, and it's pretty popular in some regards now. I think there's a lot of people who can identify with that. Like, no spoilers, shouldn't be spoiler at this point, but I think like Thanos' character in Infinity Wars was a lot like that in terms of that type of struggle, and I think people can identify walking that line to some degree, and kind of the troubles that the trials you have to go through to ultimately get what you think is the best thing, and that doesn't always coincide with what other people feel. So I think if that is pushed, I think that gives some depth to his character, and also I think that that's something that people have seen in narrative recently, so it's something they can get behind. And I think that's sometimes the stories have lacked that, but I think if that's his motivation, you may face an enemy at the end that you don't want to end up killing. Like, well, I get it, do I really want to put this guy down? And I think that would be a pretty cool way to kind of face a final engagement, as opposed to the other ones where you're just like, no, I'll kill this guy, he's bad.
Yeah, and I think Bungie's doing a great job of that too. This isn't 1992, and we're not fighting Dr. Robotnik. I think people understand that we want a villain that's going to arouse something in the gamer. We want to be a part of a story that's exciting and compelling. We want to genuinely despise this person. I will grind through whatever stupid repetitive PvE task I got to do to get to him and put his butt down. You know what I mean?
On all three characters.
I do quickly want to point out that Matt Grundy pointed out in chat that, and I still think that the continuity of the two scenes will kind of fit as a whole, but he did point out that in the original Cade getting shot trailer, he killed Cade's ghost right there. So they don't quite fit together.
Right. Okay.
But I still think the idea of him, like, he got kicked or knocked through that wall, I do think it'll still go to, like, him laying there, and that's when Aldrin comes out and finishes him. That's my thought, but the continuity is a little off because of the whole ghost thing.
With this being such like a Cade focused I don't want to say Cade focused DLC, but like, you know, it definitely kicks it off. You know what I mean? Like, do you think we're gonna have like another live action trailer? You know how much I love those. I always ask about those every time before like a DLC drops. Do you think we're gonna get one, or do you think that would kind of steal some thunder away from like the dark tone that they're trying to set? Because usually those are pretty like fun and like kind of loose, like a couple jokes here and there. Like,
I don't know. I know they said that they reeled back on doing the, you know, cinematics and live action trailers and stuff. They reeled back on that because honestly, I think the Destiny community was confused about what we wanted, and we went out and we said we want more scenes and cutscenes, and then they invested a bunch of capital into making a bunch of detailed cutscenes and live action trailers. And in the long run, it I don't think it did anything positive, you know, or it didn't do enough good to justify the capital spent. So I think that they might be focusing their capital in other things, hopefully in-game things, development process stuff.
Nice, agreed.
I think we all can agree
the conversation there. Sorry.
No, I think that's a good point, Wilson. Because in TV kind of segued into, you know, what people wanted and what we were asking for. You know, sometimes when you get into the game, I mean, like the story, like, you know, for Destiny 2 was obviously more developed and there was more cinematics than the ones we had previously. But that's something you're only going to do like that one time. And so I think even I'm hoping they're still in there to some degree, obviously for you know, Forsaken. But I think that, again, you know, I think recently you had to do one of those story missions for either Sleeper or Polaris Lance, and it still plays the cutscene at the end. I'm like, wow, I haven't seen this in a year, because that's the last time you would do those missions. So I think a good point by TV, like, you know, we wanted more story, but I think the return on that is like, well, I'm already done. So where's the content? Yeah, where's the skip now? But no, Wilson, I agree. I love those live action ones. In fact, remember the Japanese one for Destiny 2 was like them dancing? They had like a dance off and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I was thinking maybe the international markets will get a cool live action one.
I like the Japanese one where the guy goes into the laundromat and is just like yelling at his friends. He's like got the game and he's, I don't know, just the way that they do commercials and trailers over there is very
it's really all like over the top in a funny way.
Yeah. I dig it.
Did you guys, now I know it was just a trailer and there wasn't a lot said, but could you tell, just from listening, that it wasn't Nathan Fillion?
Like, there were a few moments where I was like, doesn't sound like him, and then there was some parts I was like, that has to be him. Like, do they have they have to have a lot of audio that we've never seen in game, like multiple takes on other stuff. Like, I'm not an audio engineer by any means necessary, but I imagine there's a little bit of magic that you could kind of work maybe to recycle old audio. Or maybe
I'm just gonna chalk it up to Nolan North being the man.
Really? You
Why
think
not?
it's NoNoBot? You think NoNoBot is
Oh,
it?
that is who it is. Nolan North
100% confirmed?
is voicing him for Forsaken. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was what I was getting at. Like he killed it.
Well, he killed it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if that's the case.
If you didn't, I mean, if you didn't know that it wasn't Nathan Fillion, I don't think I would have even thought about it. Like, it sounded really close.
I wouldn't have thought about it.
I did think of that too. Yeah, I did think of that too when I heard his voice. I was like, didn't somebody say that it's not?
And there's like that little like exo element to the voice too, so you know it's not like a straight voice. Yeah, so I think that probably helps a little bit.
I'm just saying, it was good.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, do we want to get into the TWAB? There's a few things to talk about in there this week, right?
Yeah,
it's juicy. There's, you know.
We did.
I was going to say sploosh worthy.
So the first thing, they start off talking about the Last Stand trailer, which we just talked about, and then Gambit, not Forsaken, like somebody said earlier. I don't know who would do that, but that's
butt clown.
That's a pretty fair assessment, actually. 24-hour trial, 10 a.m. Pacific, September 1st to 10 a.m. Pacific, September 2nd. So that should be fun because I think Gambit is going to be awesome. I did not get to
spending
play
a lot of time in Gambit.
Actually, while we're on Gambit, what do you think, TV? I wanted to get your take on the way they're going to do infamy ranks for that. with the ranking system. It's going to be more kind of like Valor based. It's, you know, you go up if you lose, you go up more if you win, and stuff like that. Is that something like, do you think that itself will draw you in or other people, or are you just kind of more for the gameplay and the base stuff going on?
Rewards are cool. I mean, I love rewards. I love something to chase, absolutely. And if the rewards are good, and I think they will be, because I think they understand that the gamers need a chase, a meaningful grind. I think that the rewards will be good. So I'm excited to play it. I know for a gamer like me, it doesn't really matter, because let's be honest, I play way too much this game anyways. I'm gonna get the stuff eventually, whether I'm winning or losing doesn't. I'm just excited to play the game mode. I think it is really important that they have things to chase. I don't know exactly what that system's going to look like, but I think it's essential to incentivize gamers. So I like that they're doing it, and that's one of the things that we talked about in at the summit. You know, we said, hey, do you think, because we played Gambit at the summit for the first time, we thought, hey, this is cool. Like, is there going to be like a reason to play? Could we have like maybe a ranking system of some kind? Maybe things to pursue. And I don't know at the time if they already planned on doing that, but they said, yeah, we should definitely have things for you to chase. Yeah. I don't know if that was them just being coy or if they already planned on it, but I think it's important that they do that. But I'm really excited because of the approachability of Gambit. To me, it's one of its selling points is how approachable it's going to be for the common gamer. It doesn't matter if you were wicked good at PvP, or if you just like to shoot stuff in the head, you know, brainlessly. There's a place for you in Gambit. You can have a role, and you can win matches, you know, regardless. So, and you've got stuff to chase now too. So I think it's a win-win for gamers who are both competitive and non-competitive. If the matchmaking system does its job right, everyone's going to have fun.
I'm with you. I agree with all that. There is one thing, speaking of the summit, just quickly off the top of your head, what like rough percentage of the stuff that you guys kind of put out there, how much of it have they seemed to have really like directly like, okay, that's great, and kind of put it in? Like, does it seem like it's a lot of it?
They've addressed almost all of our concerns. And I'm not going to pretend that they didn't know those things before we got there.
Right.
They had access to a plethora of feedback before we ever showed up on their door. I think it was partially we want you guys to know how much we care, and we want you guys to know, we want the community to know how much we value their input. So we're inviting these people. We're going to show them some stuff and let them talk to us about it. I will say this, I mean, a lot of it is under NDA indefinitely, but they were extremely transparent about their motivations, about the reasons they made certain decisions, and about their willingness to make changes, regardless of how married they may feel to systems they already had in place that gamers weren't responding well to. So I can tell you that all of our concerns that I can think of, all of our major concerns, have been addressed in some fashion. Now, I can't speak to how well those changes will be executed. They could still flop. I don't know. I didn't make the changes. But they have at least taken the concerns and said, we will try to come up with a solution. Sometimes solutions don't work. Sometimes they do. Hopefully our feedback was good enough that they had a good direction. I will say this. This has already been talked about by other summit attendees, but the weapon randomization changes, and they Bungie, I think even Noseworthy talked about this at one point. They said, when we sat down in a room with them at the summit, and they said, here's what we have in mind for weapon randomization. We hear the community wants weapon randomization. Here's our system that we came up with. And we were all like,
no. Yeah.
And so literally right there, they were basically, they're like, okay, what do you want? So we said, we want this instead. You should do this instead. And they 100% what we saw in terms of weapon randomization that they showed us in the sandbox stream that they did was everything we said they should do and a little bit more. So I can tell you that it's a very positive feeling that many of us summit attendees have towards changes that are being made. We feel really confident about it.
And I would think from their point of view, like, you're absolutely right that, they kind of knew all of those things. Like you said, they had a lot of information out there from a lot of the same people, whether it be Twitch, Reddit, whatever. But I would think for them, it was probably a lot easier to get a focused, kind of narrative from people as opposed to the nonsense that is the internet with other people jumping in and everything. So I'm sure for them, it was nice to be able to like you said, okay, this isn't working. What do you want? And be able to have a conversation as opposed to, they tweet something, you put some constructive criticism, and then 8 people jump in and say, fuck Bungo and all this other stuff, and then it all goes to hell.
The internet is it is a vast spatial sea of cesspool of nastiness, and you need a Hubble telescope just to zoom in on all the good things that you find here and there. But the summit was a really good way of them finding people that have voices in the community who represent more people, right?
Right.
It wasn't just like, hey, True Vanguard's there. It's, hey, True Vanguard came here. He represents his community and his following, and he's in tune with all the things that they're talking about. And then we've got Gigs. Honestly, Gigs hits a different audience than I do. So bring him in too. Now we got a wider pool of feedback, and they're grabbing people very strategically. It was intentional. The people that they invited it was intentional. They wanted very little overlap in communities. Some sure, but they wanted a really wide range. So I think they played the cards right.
Agreed. All right. So next, they mentioned that on September 4th there'll be a day 1 patch that you'll need to download before you can play Forsaken. Destiny 2 will be brought down for maintenance at 7 a.m. Pacific and should be up by... and then the patch will become available on all platforms by 7:30. Maintenance will be over at 10 a.m. Pacific, hopefully. So that's the time we're shooting for, right? 10 a.m. Pacific on the 4th is when we'll be able to jump into that crispy, sweet Forsaken.
The day after my 3
Labor Day
ends.
Yeah, me too. Maybe I'll still have a cough at that point, and I just won't go to work.
Maybe I'll just quit my job that day. I don't know.
I love my job.
Wouldn't recommend it. What else do we got here? Oh boy.
I think we'll be moving to the mods here.
The mods. I was gonna say that is a daunting area here. Why don't you go ahead? Go ahead, Triton.
Before we get to that, they announced the raid too on there. After
that's like September. Is that 14th?
September 14th. It's called A Last Wish, and so we get 10 days this time. Thoughts on that? You like that? You like that better than the 3-day grind and race? Or would you rather it be quick and see who can get there first? Power level
somebody who has a job and stuff like that now,
we were quitting, so it's fine.
Well, dude, I used to when I was doing Glass full time, I was able to set my own schedule, so I'd be like, yeah, dude, I ain't showing up to work for a week. You know what I mean? But now that I'm pouring concrete and somebody else signs my paycheck during the summertime, I got to show up. So I'm excited about it. They said it's not going to be a short journey to get raid ready, and them saying that and how much time we have to get raid ready, I think it might be a combination of more people need more time, and hey, there's a lot more things to do now to get raid ready. So I'm pretty excited about it. I hope it takes a long time, dude, because rushing to get raid ready for the Spire was pretty tough. You had to really sit down and dedicate some time to it. So if it's gonna be longer than that, that's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that my first couple, my first 3, 4, 5 days of playing, I'm not even thinking about getting raid ready. You know what I mean? There's just so much
to do. Just be able to play and enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy the game.
I just want to make gains. You know what I mean? No matter what I'm doing, and
you don't want to feel that stress. Oh, I gotta. Yeah.
Yeah, my 5 other people are depending on me not sucking when this thing drops, and being up to light level, and you never want to show up to the raid group where everyone's been grinding and they're like, yeah, 385, and everyone's like, yeah, 382, and you're in the 350,
360,
yeah, 350.
I'm 380 now, and it's not gonna get any better.
So it's like Briar said though, once you beat the Prestige raid mode for the first time, at least for me, my want or need to increase light level at that point, I'm well, done the hardest content, so don't really need to increase my light level at this point. It'll just kind of come naturally. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where you play and whatnot. So,
well, I did think
this
it was
raid
cool.
sounds like it's gonna be amazing. No,
I hope
it's
so,
gonna be
yeah.
changing. Like, I kind of want to, even if I'm under leveled, I want to get in there the first week to take a look at it. And then maybe when week like 2 or 3 rolls around and I'm actually ready after the raid drops, I want to see, because they talked about like it being an ever-changing environment and like visuals changing and new paths opening and stuff like that. So I'm pretty stoked for that. That's gonna be awesome.
You're not gonna try to 2-man it with me on the day it drops?
Oh, we're gonna 2-man it for sure. We're gonna explore 2-man it. I don't know how far we'll get, but hey, it'll be fun.
We won't get very far.
It's a date.
I did think it was cool. One of the Bungie devs, I forget who it was, but he tweeted like that, you know, all the people saying like, "Oh God, we get 10 days. The raid's gonna be so easy by then." And then his response was, it was just that GIF of Ryan Gosling covering his mouth and like chuckling.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, they, like you said before, they seem confident that they got it and they nailed it. Like, yeah, you think it's gonna be easy. And it was the same thing with Spire, right? Everyone thought like,
just gonna say that.
Oh, it's gonna be fine, and then people got gear checked hard.
Yeah, raids are too easy. Bungie, hold my beer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. The Spire's no joke. I mean, I was watching last night. I'm chilling, playing some quick play with some buddies, and I don't know if you know who Clyde is, GS6R Clyde.
Yeah.
Great guy. He helps people through raids all the time. Last night, he was helping a gentleman get through the raid, the Spire Stars, and they were stuck on that last encounter for an hour and a half, 2 hours on just the last encounter alone. And here's the thing: they've got ringers in the fire team. They're very intelligent, very good players, but if the execution isn't there, if the whole team isn't on the same page, it can be tough. I think that's fantastic. I think that that speaks volumes to their ability to. They can make a tough encounter. They can. If they want it to be tough, they can make it tough.
They can make it tough by making everyone participate like they did with Spire. And when you go to help someone get through the raid, like they can actually say they helped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not just stand over here and shoot this with Gallahorn or Black Spindle.
Stand on this ledge where no one can shoot you and shoot at Crota until I hit him with this sword.
Yeah.
And don't rock it when I pop my bubble.
Now, my buddy John, No Time, was talking about that last night when we were watching the stream together. He's like, I remember back in Z1, what we did as raid Sherpas, was we loaded up the raids with 2, 3, 4 people, and we beat them. That way we knew when we helped people out and they died, whatever, second nature. We know how to beat this. We can beat this without you. We don't need you alive. It's not the same anymore. They got to be up. They got to be doing their part. I think that's great.
I don't know if that was the case when we did Crota's NTV. I feel like we needed those runs that we used to have back in the day where we needed everybody, or we needed you not to disconnect on the final sword attempt and your internet go down.
That was poetic and horrible, and I was almost crying. Literally, like, we were about to, because Triton was in my original raid team when we were in Dads of Destiny together.
I'm so sorry.
And I tried to
carry a great raid team.
Yeah. We had some hiccups. I still remember those dudes rolling.
I mean, we had the best moments ever. I think for me was it Fixins? Remember when we were up to like 2 or 3 that one night we really tried and he got DC'd. His wife came down and was like, "What are you doing?" He's like,
there were words.
Yeah.
What the?
Really playing with the guy. And then he's like, "Oh, don't get. I'll fold those later."
I'll fold those. He's trying to get just some grace. Like, I'll fold those.
Those were great times, right?
Right now we raid. All right, girl.
Yeah, those are great times. So
yeah, my internet dipped literally on the last swing to kill Crota. I was Swordman.
No,
yikes!
That's
disconnect at like 2 a.m. Oh man. Those were good times.
Now, were you guys able to finish it, or was that like for the rest of you?
I think we did, didn't we?
Oh, you got back on even and finished it?
Yeah. And then we got it done a couple times, after that. So,
because I've been in enough groups that like, even though you don't know that you're at that breaking point, that one person, even if it's not a disconnect, that one person's like, all right, I'm done, And instead of like
Yeah.
grabbing someone else, everyone else is like, yeah, no, I can't do this. Like I'm out,
Yeah.
and they just give up.
Power
We were pretty
suggestion.
dedicated. We were pretty dedicated when it came out, or we were trying to get done. At least that first time, we're like,
Yeah.
no, we're getting it done. No, we got to we got to do it.
Oh, was that the first, like your first clear?
That was our first clear
Oh,
in
wow.
the raid, period.
Yep.
Oh. So you ruined the first clear ever.
No,
No, we,
God did.
Yeah.
The act of God, literally.
That's fair. All right.
He has no control.
I don't know. Didn't I get called out for making excuses earlier? I'm just saying.
Bringing it to real life now.
Well,
Wow.
mine are real. Mine,
Yeah,
mine are
yeah, that
legit.
really
Okay.
happened. Though.
All right. No, that's fair. Wilson, you wanna lead us down to the mod squad, as they say.
Okay, this is complicated.
That's why I'm having you do it.
Okay, they go on to say here, let's see. There's been some confusion about the new mods coming. Yeah, tell me about it. So on September 4th, first thing we need to do is properly set expectations for the acquisition of year 2 mods. So ways that you can acquire these new mods. What does it say here?
Do you want to tell us
You
whose words these are? Because that's my favorite
You
part. I think.
can. It's Ham Slamrick, by the way. The alter ego of Josh, maybe of Josh Hamrick.
Maybe it's his real name.
Is that like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing? Like
It's like
when he's
T-Von.
when he's ready to mess some shit up, he's Ham Slamrick. You know what I'm saying?
I guess so.
But
Although
we
I
got-
feel uncomfortable with the words ham and slam right next
Like
to each
right
other.
next to each other. Yeah.
I like that they actually
Look.
put that in the TWAB. Like they're like, nah, we're going all
That's
out
like
here.
that's like going around with the name Meat Beat. You don't do that.
That's gonna be my new nickname for Hope. Like
Hope has a lot of good nicknames for things like that for some reason.
it's the homie Meat Beat. All right, so mods details here.
Ham
Year 2
slam.
mods come from the gunsmith.
You can get them right away
You
if
get
you
them
have
right
the
away.
component.
Specifically, year 2 mods come from the following sources. All exotic armor drops, regardless of year, have a chance to come with an equipped mod. What that chance is, we'll find out, I guess, whether that's high or low. Non-raid year 2 legendary weapons and armor drops have a small chance to come equipped with a mod. So there's a chance, then they say a small chance for,
Yeah.
for the raid armor, weapons and armor. You are free to keep the weapon should that particular weapon and mod combo suit your needs. You may choose to dismantle the weapon to break out the mod for use elsewhere. This I love. Absolutely. That was a big concern of mine. So I'm pretty happy about that. You may pull mods out of gear for use in other gear by dismantling the original item they dropped in. Also cool. Alternatively, Alternatively, should you want the item but not the mod, you can choose to slot a new mod over the old one. Weapons and armor purchased from vendors do not come with mods. That's cool. I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
Because less shortcuts, please. Thank you. If you have the mod components and glimmer necessary to feed your habit, I gotta have it. You may
go right
choose
away.
to go straight to Banshee 44, the gunsmith, who will have 2 mod packages available for purchase. Direct buy year 2 armor mod, updated daily, along with a direct buy year 2 weapon mod, which is also updated daily. You may acquire mod components for trading with Banshee 44 by dismantling other loose mods. Let's see here. Armor. Year 2 armor mods always drop 1 mod component when dismantled. Year 1 legendary armor mods always drop 1 mod component. And year 1 rare armor mods have a small chance of dropping a mod component. And with same thing with weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically echoed with weapons.
And you can start doing that now, right?
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
start getting rid of your
Actually.
mods now. Do it.
Thank God, dude, because
That leads Wilson into probably the next thing about depreciation, but as to why you might want to do it now.
yeah, absolutely. As of the launch of Forsaken on September 4th, Year 1 armor mods in your inventory will cease to work but can be dismantled for traded for materials. Year 1 armor mods currently slotted in your Year 1 armor will cease to work but remain slotted in the armor. And they actually have a little picture of that in the TWAB there. And lastly, it says Year 2 armor mods will be able to be slotted into both Year 1 and Year 2 armor mod slots. Hallelujah.
Dope.
Yeah, man. I can't wait for this mod system, dude. It's gonna be cool. I'm ready for some diversity and to like actually think about my weapons again.
It's a
like,
chess match, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be even way more in depth than D1, and like, you know, you were always thinking about like what weapon you want to use with what roles to accomplish whatever task. And I feel like this is really gonna help amp that up. We're gonna see some more individuality with weapons and stuff like that, and I'm down with that.
I'm mostly excited, and TV, I want to get your opinion on this. As a hunter, what is the mod you are most looking forward to, and why? And there's a correct answer.
Icarus.
Yes. Yeah. I can't wait to be able to do that again. Like, that is why I played Hunter. And I can't wait. That's so exciting.
Hunters, hand cannons, and Icarus go together. They just do.
Like peanut butter and bananas and bacon.
Yeah, I was trying to
like
add a third
mellow
thing.
and yellow.
Butter and jelly.
Oh, that was good, Wilson. That was good.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Like the pop to my sickle.
Ooh. Ooh, we on fire tonight, folks.
Like the beat to my meat.
Too far. Oh, no.
I'd rather not.
Ham slam. I give up. So then they give us a little bit of patch notes sneak peek, and there's some class changes. This is something I thought was really cool. The hunter dodge is now going to be considered a reload as far as proccing perks. So you can reload and activate Kill Clip, Rat King.
Desperado.
Oh. I didn't think of that either.
How dare you? I know Winnie's going to be happy about that, because when we were down at Guardian Con, he was talking about that. He's like, why does that not count? I was like, that's a good question.
That is
shout outs to Winnie.
That just made me even more excited.
He has to reload a lot during gunfights because he doesn't land his shots, so I get it.
Yeah, that's the way that works generally. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a podcast if someone wasn't saying something about.
Oh yeah, actually, I think it was in your chat, TV. Someone a couple weeks ago, when he sent me a screenshot of he popped into your chat and was talking, and somebody was like, "Oh my god, you're the infamous Wendler. Hove makes fun of you on REZOcast every week."
That's awesome.
Yes.
You've been typecasted.
Yeah. So a couple exotic armors. Celestial Nighthawk. I think this is cool. If a target is killed by your single golden gun shot, you'll get 33% of your super energy back, which that's another shot, right? So I think that's cool because there was no reason to wear Celestial Nighthawk before you got to like a boss, right? Everyone just switched and put it on because otherwise you were just wasting, for the most part.
Everybody but me, because I always forget. I get so into it, dude. I get so
everyone who
into the boss fight.
Everyone who isn't high. But no, I think that's a really cool change because now like you can just wear it, and so I mean I guess technically could you just keep like if it's against mobs, could you just keep killing like low red enemies and keep getting a pack?
I think it's read this differently. I think it means that you automatically are cooled down towards your next super a third.
Yeah.
I don't think it gives you a third of your yellow bar going down. I don't think that's in the super. I think you pop your shot, and then you're already at 33% cooldown to your next.
Well, I'm less excited
activation. Hey, it's still useful.
Yeah,
it's still something.
I'm down.
Yes.
All right, man. I was so excited that you could like get a 2-shot Celestial Nighthawk.
I know we keep bursting your bubble. You want to spread misinformation, but all night.
I'm retiring. This is my last podcast. I feel like Donald Trump. Wormhusk Crown. I'm sure this will make a lot of people happy. It's no longer going to start regeneration of health and shields. It will grant you a larger health and shield bump at the beginning of dodge instead of at the end. So it's just an instant health and shield, right?
It does not change what Wormhusk does well.
Right.
It does not change that. You can Wormhusk's best strength is its ability to help you take a gunfight that you are losing and turn it into a gunfight that you are winning in a 1v1. That will not change. People seem to think that that's gone, but it's exotic. It needs to do something well, and that's the one thing that Wormhusk does well. It's just not going to be so forgiving that someone could roll into cover and instantly have all their health back and pop back out. It's just kind of bringing down the advantage that it gives them. It's not resetting the fight entirely anymore.
And what do you think about the fact that it's now at the beginning of the dodge instead of at the end? You think that'll make much of a difference?
Yes, I think it will.
Yeah.
I think it'll make a big difference.
I think
it'll be less infuriating.
Yeah, I think instead of like TV said, like where you just dodge and you're out of the way and you just have to get out of the way and break line of sight and you get your health back. If you just dodge now and they still have line of sight of you and they can get a shot on you, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think you'd have to use it more strategically. You would actually have to get away from them normally, pop it, and then come back out to play. So
you have to completely disengage if you want all your health back now. Yeah,
exactly.
That's a kicker.
Well said.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
personally.
Agreed.
Some people would disagree, but that's my opinion.
Yep.
Okay, Warlock. And I know I saw you had a couple tweets about this, TV. Increased Healing Rift effectiveness. Which, like, what did you say? With the time to kill, like, it needed it, right? If the time to kill is going to be lowered.
The thing is, Warlock Rift right now, people like to compare Wormhusk to Warlock Rift. The two things are completely incomparable. Completely incomparable. Literally the only thing that the Healing Rift is good at doing is taking a standoffish fight, right? You know, you're at the end of a lane and I'm at the end of a lane. And so I'm just going to throw this rift down right at the edge of my cover so I can kind of peek out, take a couple shots, and then get back, stand it for a second, and peek back out. And it doesn't give you health rapidly. It doesn't. I mean, I main a Warlock. It's not a fast thing. It's not an instant win. It doesn't reset an engagement that somebody's really committed to. Wormhusk is an evasive thing you can do in the middle of I'm right up in your grill. I'm just going to roll away and just jump in the air and instantly have a lot of health and kill you. Right, it's a completely different scenario. So I think that this has had to happen in order for Healing Rift to have any utility whatsoever in a faster-paced sandbox. I think that it will absolutely have no change in the way that the Rift is used. It's not going to make the Rift better in the game. It's literally just making it able to keep up with the changes that the sandbox had. That's the way I perceive it.
That's a good point.
Empowering Rift increases precision damage now. Previously, bonus damage was capped at the weapon's precision damage in PvP. So, cool.
No one used Empowering Rift in PvP. It was completely pointless and useless. It had no point.
Yep.
Now, the player has a choice to make. Players need choices to make because that's how players develop unique playstyles that they feel more special to them. But if you're just playing the same thing that everyone else is playing and there's no decision to make, then the game failed you, in my opinion. So it's a good thing that now people have to weigh their options and say, I don't know, what do I want? Do I want a Healing Rift for peak shotting, or
don't want to go?
I don't know.
Go at it, right? Choice is good. A couple exotic armor changes with Warlock. Skull of Dire Ahamkara will now give you increased super energy from Nova Bomb kills, and higher ranked enemies will grant more super energy. So pretty much they kind of put the old Obsidian Mine perk in there, right?
Yeah.
Nova Bomb kills will give you...
It was already on there. I think they just buffed the amount.
Buffed it.
Yeah. Turned it up to 11.
Oh, 11. Transversive steps enhance mobility. After you sprint for a short time, your currently equipped weapon will be automatically reloaded.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Could have some uses.
Titans. This one I thought was interesting. Rally Barricade no longer requires players to take cover to reload. It now just feeds ammo to your magazine over time. So it's pretty much it's kind of like Lunafaction boots in a Rift, right?
It's acting War Rig, basically.
Yeah.
Acting War Rig just keeps feeding you ammo in your AR. The Barricade's not going to do that.
I think the most exciting thing about the Barricade is that hopefully this will cut back on the amount of people I shoot in the back of the head with a rocket during the Callus engagement. Like when we're all huddled behind one barricade trying to reload behind it. Somebody always moves an inch. You know, I get like 2 good rockets off and I don't move, and then, you know, someone steps up right in front of me, and because everyone's trying to move around and crouch, so hopefully everybody can just kind of like pick a spot now and not shoot each other in the back of the head with a rocket. That'd be great.
It also helps the fact that especially in PvP, the only weapons really that people like to couple with a rally barricade are weapons that spin up, like Sweet Business, Service Regime. Problem is when you have to hold the trigger down and then you crouch to get your ammo back, you're shooting your own barricade. So now you don't have to shoot your own barricade. You can just peek over and just shoot over it the whole time. You don't have to dump ammo into the barricade itself.
All right, Helmet Saint 14 now grants allies an overshield for a short duration when they're passing through Ward of Dawn. Cool, right? I like that. And Mask of the Quiet One, increasing energy gain from incoming damage, and while critically wounded, health will be granted from kills.
That makes that pretty usable in PvP.
Fan of that one?
Yeah, it's basically giving Titans the same effect. If I mean, I don't know if it's the exact same, but it seems very similar to Karnstein's armlets in the sense that Warlocks have an exotic that makes it so that, hey, you got the kill, good job, here's some health as a reward for getting your kill, for winning that fight, to help prime you up for the next one. Mask the Quiet One now is very similar in that sense. Hey, you're in a fight. Ooh, it's getting kind of tight. It's getting kind of close. Who's gonna die first? Oh, you got your shot off. Good job winning that really close fight. Here's a little bit of health to help set you up for the next one. It's just rewarding winning your fights, which is cool.
Nice. Okay, then they talk about grenades a little bit, and there is there's a recurring theme here: increased base damage.
Yeah, all of them do more.
Axion, flashbang, storm grenade, incendiary grenades, scatter grenade, magnetic fusion, flux. So grenades are getting buffed. They're going to be stronger.
Everything but trip mine, basically. That already did a boatload of damage.
The Axion, it's going to increase the amount of time it takes for tracking strength to lessen. What other one? Scatter grenades, retuned range, and fall-off ranges for the detonations for more reliable damage. That's good, because I always liked scatter grenades. I was always a fan of those.
I like the noise they make, too. It's hits every pleasure zone, hearing that noise.
Every pleasure zone?
All of them, Hove.
So, for magnetic fusion and flux, damage is now the same whether a target has been stuck or simply walked over the grenade when detonating. And the magnetic grenade now detonates a second time only if it's attached to a target.
Is that going to be a one-banger with the increased damage, and it's going to detonate twice? So that's like hitting him. I like that you're getting rewarded for actually sticking him with the grenade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, instead of just like, hit him with, you know, with all the aim assist and stuff like that, like, it's whatever. But now when you actually stick him, you kind of get rewarded for it. Is that, you think that's going to be enough to, we don't know the numbers, but I'd be interested to see how much damage that's going to do. Like,
well, I think it's also, the next part is also interesting. The second detonation no longer only occurs on the grenade itself. It will now be applied to each individual target hit by the initial detonation. So if I stick you and you're standing next to Triton, the first one, it'll have 2 explosions, right? Because it stuck you. But if Triton got hit by the first one, you'll both have a second detonation on you. Right? Is that how I'm reading that?
Yep. That's how I read that too.
That's how I take it.
I got one right. So
1 for 4. Let's go.
You got a long road to recovery, sir.
All right. Let's see. Skip grenades, increased impact damage, higher total potential damage. Okay, I mean, that's pretty much just goes along with increased base damage, right? And initial void wall wave will have increased damage. So grenades are getting buffed, right? Which is good. We wanted better abilities, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We on board with that?
I'm down.
Quick other things here just to finish off. Swords will have the ability to accept shaders. Neat.
Oh, thank God.
Adding a timer to the status effect for Healing Rift, Empowering Rift, Rally Barricade to better communicate the time before they expire.
I like that.
Wanted escapees from the Prison of Elders will roam the open world. So that's cool. That's kind of like, you know, House of Wolves type thing, right? There's some things out in the world. And they're going to increase lost sectors. For example, EDZ will now be 240 power. It's still going to be lower than most of us that play the game all the time, but
Yeah, it's something.
And Zur will no longer be on the map or tied to flashpoints, so you got to find him again.
That's cool.
I like that. That was always fun, right?
It's a minor detail, but it's fun. You know what I mean? Like
You gotta be the first one to find it, or you're searching that up like first Friday morning. That's pretty.
Yeah, a lot of people enjoy Dado's Zur videos, or when Holtzman did them, or I personally always watched Briar's, and because I ain't got time for that to go around and look for it myself. So it's cool to toss someone a view on YouTube and kind of check out and see what he's got and where he's at and stuff like that. I dig it.
You gonna start making Zur videos, TV?
No.
That was pretty matter of fact.
And they're not tied to flashpoints now too, right? So they're not gonna like coincide like where that's gonna be. I think that was like the second comment too. So whoever finds them definitely has to search not just on the planet of the flashpoints.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna type literally. If you go to Google and just type Zur on a Friday, the first thing that comes up is some article that's where he's at that day.
Where he's at.
That's literally all you have to type. XUR. That's it.
I had an app called Where's Zur on my phone, and it would.
Yeah, but those guys are real excited.
Yeah, it was cool. I'd log in, I'd find out where Zur is, and I'd be like, cool, see you next Friday.
All right, that's all I got from there. You guys got anything else before we move to some quick community questions? TV's got a lot. There's a lot of TV centric questions.
Oh boy.
No, I think we should get to Q&A.
Yeah, dive into community questions. Yeah.
First one's a very important deep question. It's from It's DJ. For you, TV, who's his favorite clanmate and why is it DJ?
My favorite clanmate in Resolute. Who's my favorite Resolute? I gotta fall off the log because I can't be a chicken, right? I can't be Clawman because then I'm a kiss up.
And because it can't be Clawman.
There's a lot of wrong answers. There's only a few right ones. So it'd probably have to be True Vanguard.
Good answer. I thought you were gonna go with an on-time Hovey, maybe, but
yeah,
those don't exist.
I was just gonna say that.
Don't make things up. Well, you can't just make people up, all right?
I know, dude. It's
that guy doesn't exist.
My bad.
This one seems to be a theme. Chibi Kim would like to know: is it true you hold the world record for whiffed Nova bombs?
Gosh. I have missed so many Nova bombs live on stream lately. It's not even, and some of them are like it's not just like, oh, it missed. They're really humiliating.
I've been there.
I had one where I literally, it was on Vostok, and I'm sprinting up. They clipped it. It's now a command in my chat. But I'm sprinting up to C because they're capping the flag, and I'm like, nope, not in my house. And I jump up and I go thump, and then all three guys just run out of C as I'm up in the air, and I'm like, oh. I try to turn while mid animation and just throw it just off into space, just sails off into space. I must go. My people need me. They're bad.
Stream. Marcus had a little bot counter for whiffed Nova bombs in my chat, and it was demoralizing. It hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Seeing that number go up was not good.
Keeping it on the theme, Azrael Speaks wants to know: would you have rather whiff as many Nova bombs as you have, or think you have bubble when you're striker and pop your super just to fly off the map, trying to protect heavy on Pantheon while screaming bubble?
Do you not know this scenario?
Oh yeah,
that he speaks of.
Oh yeah,
well, I've seen it.
I don't know. It's Manny's most iconic Destiny 1 moment. In my opinion.
Yeah.
It gets brought up pretty often, actually. I think just last week.
Literally the only time I have ever cried on stream. I was laughing. And the best part of it is that I AFK because I'm laughing so hard. Manny committed suicide. And we were doing carries, right? We raffled off a spot. But the dude that we raffled in, he clutched a 1v3.
Yeah.
He 1v3'd the round. I'm over here crying. Manny's crying. And he's over here like, anybody? Did anybody see that? Did I? You know? He was like, "This is my moment," and Manny got the spotlight for it.
Could be worse. He could have had a Briar Rabbit moment when I was playing with him, and it was like tied up. It was like Lighthouse game, and he's like, "It's cool, guys. I got my Nova Bomb. We're going in, and let's meet him at A." And we ran in, and none of us remembered that he was actually a Bubble Titan. So he went in to Nova Bomb a bunch of people. Totally forgot what class he was playing and popped his bubble. So it could be worse. Like, could have had that going.
Did you win the round?
No.
No. Okay.
No. But it was kind of the same thing like TV said. Like, at that point, it's like, I don't even care. I'm laughing so hard at my friend's expense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What an idiot.
Yeah.
All right, Hero of Time. How does it feel to be the bad boy of the Destiny community? What makes you so edgy, and how do you continue to not be banned for such content?
Just gotta hide it well.
Gotta pick and choose.
You gotta
right?
say it in such a way that if someone questions, how appropriate what you just said was, you could play it off. I've been married for 8 years. I am a master of disguising your mistakes.
That's perfect.
Well, speaking of mistakes, this is a question that touches me.
Boy.
Beautiful Dust would like to know, TV, what did Cool Ranch Doritos do to you as a kid to make you hate them? Sincerely, people who love you and just want to help.
They tasted like butt, and I was offended.
How do you know? Like, what? I just don't understand. Cool Ranch Doritos are delicious.
It's simple.
They're delicious.
I know. Try and follow me here. I had a Cool Ranch Dorito. I put Cool Ranch Dorito in mouth. Brain said, "Ugh." I removed Cool Ranch Dorito from mouth.
And they were forever Cool Butt Doritos after that, apparently.
All right, that's fair. Justin, what kind of favor do I have to do for you to fly out to the Founders Brewery with you? Under the table, not excluded.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What
Under the table is excluded. Nothing is happening under the table. In fact, we are sitting at the bar because now I'm uncomfortable.
It's gonna be clarified that though beforehand.
Right. Aaron Sterry, Cool Ranch Doritos or pickle flavored Doritos?
Can I just eat the bag instead? Because that sounds better than both.
Yeah.
There's pickle flavored Doritos?
No, I think
That
it
was
was just more of a play on like his Cool
Oh,
Ranch.
made
Like,
up.
which one would you like? They purposely yeah.
I bet you there is
There's
somewhere
a lot of
though.
different Doritos.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different kind of Doritos. Like I think there's like dill pickle lays now or something I saw the other day. So.
Weren't there Doritos
I remember-
that were with cashew peanuts down in Florida? Is that what those were, Hove?
What?
Were those?
Oh, the Doritos Crunch Nuts?
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's what
they were
called.
like peanuts wrapped in Dorito.
Interesting.
All right.
Back when I was a kid, they launched Pizza Hut Doritos. I don't know if it was a really just like one summer they did Pizza Hut Doritos, and I was totally into it because Pizza Hut was good back then.
Was it
What are
though?
they just like
It was back in the
their
day.
pan
No.
pizza
They
was
changed
good.
it up.
Remember when you
They
get the
changed.
personal pans
They-
for like
I
the
don't care
book
what
and
you're saying.
stuff?
It
Those were great.
changed.
I agree with TV on this one.
I mean, I used to love it, but I think I just was a child who didn't know any better. Was my thought, right? Like Chuck E. Cheese, I used to like them too.
No,
They
dude,
changed. Oh,
even as a
Chuck E. Cheese
kid-
definitely changed.
No, dude. Even as a kid, I was like, dude, Chuck E. Cheese pizza sucks. Like it really does. I was like, really, like it's kind of bad when it comes like the same consistency of like a grease-soaked plate at that paper plate at that point.
Yeah.
I think they realized it, which is why they're like, yeah, but beer.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or that salad bar that everything
Anything's
tossed
good with
into.
beer, even crappy pizza. So.
Even Cool Ranch Doritos. Next question.
Debatable.
DR Rezo DR. This is a two-parter for you, TV.
Oh boy.
You have set the standard for being a genuinely top-tier positive guy in the Destiny community, and your followers and subs are second to none. What advice would you give the community moving forward into the next phase of Destiny content on keeping a positive approach amongst negative backlash that can poison a likewise great experience? Also, will we get to experience any T-Von in the future? Lastly, I guess it's a three-part question.
Oh gosh.
With the success of
write
your
this down.
year one sniping series, will you possibly dive back into that again?
Okay, let's take this one thing. Can you repeat the questions?
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Okay. So let's do this. All right, sniper series. If there's interest I might do it again. It depends on if snipers change. Currently, even in the new sandbox, just giving me sniper ammo more doesn't make the sniper good. Snipers are still bad in Destiny 2, in PvP at least. They just don't really have a good. There's no scenario where I would rather have a sniper rifle over like a graviton or a vigilance. They flinch too much, they zoom too much. The handling is bad. So something's got to change with the snipers for me to get excited about using them again and to get excited about making content for them again. So the answer is maybe. And we don't know if snipers are going to be changed. Like Dylan said, DMG said, the patch notes that we got today, it's not an exhaustive list of the changes that are coming. It's just a brief window into what's happening. So there may be changes. They may just not let us know yet. So that's the answer to question number 1. Will we see T-Von? Hey, T-Von showed up for about 30 seconds today on stream. I got a little salty about something. But, every now and then, you play Destiny for 8 to 10 hours a day, every day. Every now and then, something will frustrate you.
That's fair.
So that happened. You just have to be at the right place at the right time to witness it. But to be fair, my T-Von is calling people like poop nuggets and stuff like that. It's never over the top, I don't think. But and then what was
the long one was pretty much what
the standard.
Yeah, what advice would you give the community moving forward
right.
on keeping a positive approach amongst negative backlash?
Mm-hmm. I would remind people that one of my favorite quotes: "Criticism is easy, but character finds goodness and calls attention to it." That doesn't mean that there's no spot for criticism. I would say focus on the things that they did right. Ask how we can leverage those things in the future to make a better game. And the things that you don't like, because let's be honest, you can love Destiny and hate parts of Destiny. It is possible to love Destiny and dislike things in Destiny. So, and I think that's healthy. I think that the developers need that. So even the people who are raging, don't rage back at them. Don't be like, you're just a stupid blind rager. Every now and then, you focus on that person who's angry and say, hey, I hear you saying this, though. In the middle of your swearing and your anger and Bungie sucks, blah, 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 you did say something of value. Let's focus on that. So you have an issue with this. I kind of agree with that, though. Let's have a positive conversation about how that could change, and we can give feedback that's helpful to the developers. I think that's really important. So even the people that are blind ragers, they could have something good to say.
No, and I think that's I think a lot of our listeners and viewers can relate to that because, if they're here, they presumably like the podcast, but they dislike Triton. So that's kind of like the same. Like they dislike something inside the podcast. So I think a lot of people can relate to that part.
Always trying to make me the Peter Wisdom of the podcast.
At least he gets his info right.
Oh, thanks, TV. Old school raid buddies.
Where are you on the podcast? You're down.
Me?
Yeah,
you're down here. You're
yeah.
Try five TV high five.
Yeah, no, yeah. Triton's knocking his way.
All right, well,
this is awkward.
Wilson,
Okay.
Wilson, you wanna give me a little?
no one wants to high five you.
No, you're down to the.
Here's
Yep,
the
right there.
story.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Lovely ladies.
Twinkle, twinkle.
All right, we got two more. I'm sorry, 3 more, but one of them is quick.
I learned to count several years ago.
Oh man, I'm having a rough one. I picked a bad guest. What was your favorite part of year 1 of Destiny 2 and why?
Favorite part of year 1 Destiny 1. My favorite part.
And this is the first question that wasn't just for TV, so you guys have to think of answers too. We're allowed to answer.
That's fair. That's fair.
I know my answer. Can I go first?
No.
Yeah, go for it.
It's oh my god, and I'm gonna do the Hove's gonna be so mad at me because I
No.
always do this. Launch and Warmine, probably my favorite. And Hove is so triggered
Why
right
would-
now because
I don't know why.
you could only pick one.
Wow.
You could only pick one.
I've
If you knew
never
what
said
you're
that
telling me.
before in my
You're
life.
so indecisive.
Yeah, you've said that several times. And
Thanks, Triton.
Wasn't
You were there
Warmine
that one time?
Destiny 2 though?
It was year 1 of Destiny 2.
Of Destiny 2, yeah.
Oh, okay. I follow.
Yeah, some people, have comprehension problems. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I was just too caught up on the fact that you couldn't count to 3. I'm sorry.
He's still wrapped up on that. The reason why I'd probably pick like launch was, I mean, everyone was so excited. We were over D1. Everyone was taking time off work, preparing for launch. I mean, dude, I think I stayed up for like 48 hours.
Yeah, you didn't sleep.
Day.
I remember that. You were a mess.
I was a hot mess. My parents were on vacation, so I had to go from my house and go stay at their place. And it was kind of cool being the master of like the domain that I grew up in. Kind of cool. So I just started rearranging shit and throwing up big screen TVs and busting out the PlayStation. It was great. I didn't sleep for 48 hours. I can't wait to do that again, but we'll see.
That's one. Anybody else? Nope.
I know that for me personally, just the recent season we've been in with Warmind 6v6 changes, I've never had more fun in Destiny 2 than I am currently having in Destiny 2. I like all the raid encounters that I'm doing every now and then. A lot of people see me as the PvP guy. At nights, I do my PvE. I've been grinding Solstice gear. I've been doing the raids, prestiges, all that stuff. I have a great time shooting the breeze with the guys and just enjoying the season that we're in and having a number of end game activities to choose from. Escalation Protocol has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To grind those things out. It's just a brainless slaying of 9 people and 1 million ads. Just everything's going boom. It's just stupid fun, and throw back a couple of beers with the guys doing that. It's a blast. And with the Frontlines community growing and the way that people are getting so excited about Destiny 2 again, I've never been more happy in Destiny 2 than I am right now.
Can I cheat and say Guardian Con? Does that count?
No.
No, it doesn't count?
That's not a Destiny event.
Mean, it's part of year 1 of Destiny 2, right?
Hear me out. I'll allow it, but only if you allow my answer of my favorite arcade cabinet being the Nintendo Play Choice 10, which was also an argument we had at Guardian Con.
I've never even heard of that thing. Were you high?
Oh my god.
Was Hope drunk?
I didn't. Yeah, maybe I did a little bit.
He did pretty good. He had to.
Yeah.
I was getting drunk.
I was definitely, because the only time I really did was at the house, because I was the driver most nights. So I was very much under control. Thank you very much, Triton.
I'll back him up on that.
I'd say my favorite moment, well, I guess this was favorite part, but favorite moment was I hadn't done an escalation protocol, and Wilson and Lego and a bunch, I think, did you guys have a full 9 once I showed up or close?
Yeah, remember, because you just kind of showed up to hang out in the party, and we had a group,
someone
and
left.
One of them left, and you hopped in.
Yeah, so I had never gotten past like level 2, maybe 3, and I was just like, oh yeah, okay. Like I was in the party just talking to them, and they were like, oh, we have a spot, and I jumped in on like wave 6, and we finished 7, and I got the shotgun, and then everyone quit. Everyone quit.
Everyone was like, yeah, well, I hate Hove, and I'm going to bed, so...
That's my favorite moment. You're welcome.
You would rub that in.
Well, mine's kind of like Wilson. I think, with Warmind, I didn't play it at launch, but, when getting back into Destiny earlier this month, I got to play the entire Warmind story, because most people had that done. I got to play it with my oldest son, which is really cool because I think he was, at the time when Destiny came out, original Destiny was not at an age that, he'd been able to probably get through a first-person shooter. But, now that he's, approaching teens, he's able to do that. And, to be able to kind of have that story and him be able to, like, actively be a part of completing a lot of those missions and just kind of seeing that excitement come out of him kind of the same way when I first started playing Destiny was really cool and kind of, reignited my love for the game. I think that would be probably my in game, but I think all you guys, being in REZO, probably TV the most, we always get those hate messages. If there was another fun moment for me, I don't think we get them as much in D2, at least I don't get them as much in D2, but someone sent me a message not that long ago that said, oh my god, I'm playing Resolute, and then like a minute later said, wait, never mind, it's just you. And that was it. He never said anything else, and I was like, oh, that guy's awesome, man. So, I never replied back, but it was great. He said it like as you're kind of like the ships are in orbit and you're kind of like getting to the destination. You can see all 6 from behind there as they're firing the engines. And then as we're kind of descending on the planet, just came across again. Never mind, just you.
Props to that guy.
Yeah, props to that guy. So I was trying to look up my messenger to see who that was.
Who that legend was?
Yeah, who that? Pewdie71. Yeah, Pewdie71. Thank you for that earlier this year for sending me that.
You are a legend.
Legend, yeah.
You have become legend. Straight up.
It's cool you talking about your son though, being at an age where he can get excited about it and seeing that excitement. I remember just a couple of weeks ago, my wife and I alternate every night. Who does bedtime with which kid? That's sort of like our life is hectic, life is crazy. So that's like our time that it's one-on-one. I get one-on-one time with Grady every other night. I get one-on-one time with Riley every other night. And so for the last 45 minutes that they're awake, it's just me and him, or me and her, or vice versa with my wife. So for one of those nights, I literally spent 45 minutes on my phone. I was sitting in my son's little, Thomas the Train bed, and I'm sitting down there next to him, and we're all cramped in there together, and I'm flipping through my phone, showing him pictures of like every bad guy, every strike boss, every raid boss in the history of Destiny 1 and 2. And he's like, what's this guy do? What's his story? Why does he want to hurt you guys? You and your friends. And so I'm telling him the story. This is, this is Atheon. He's a master of time and space. He can send you to different times. And he's like, what?
Mind blown, right? Yeah.
So he really liked Argos. He calls him the Scorpion monster, the Scorpion robot monster.
That's cool.
Accurate.
Who else did he like? Tannix. He loved Tannix.
Who doesn't? He's a good guy.
He thought he looked just super cool. So, but yeah, it was really fun just to see his he's getting an insight to this world that that is my life. And he's like, that's so cool.
Do you ever show him a picture of the Exodus down strike, and you're like, we skipped this one, so we're just gonna.
That's what I mean.
All right, Yakin. I'm bad at reading. The nudist. Which class has the biggest booty?
I'm not into butt stuff, so I don't know. I pay attention.
100%. No, I've given it some thought. Titans.
I've given it some thought. I don't know. That seems more like a factual question than an opinion, and I think Wilson answered it. So, last question. I figured this was a good way to kind of end this. Looking ahead, Sass asks, "What are your biggest concerns for year 2?" And we don't need to leave it on a downer, but I figured it was kind of cool to look ahead to kind of end things.
Yeah.
My biggest concern is that if something doesn't go the way that we had perceived it, that it blows up and becomes this sometimes people get that mob mentality of and it just fuels more and more and more. That's kind of what I'm afraid of, over criticism and just I don't know. I kind of feel like that's trending out. It's not the whole hate on Bungie to hate Bungie thing isn't as quite as popular as it used to be. I don't know. It seemed like every other comment in Twitch chat was dead game lol, or Bungie ruined my life this way, or the game ruined my life this way. I don't know, man. I hope people can have a good time is what I really hope. And if they do have a concern, express it like a normal adult.
I'm down. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm there with you. I mean, we've talked we're positive, we're confident that they're kind of moving in the right direction, but I do think that they're at that point where even small missteps are going to be blown way out of proportion, and like you said, I don't want something like that to kind of snowball and ruin the rest of the stuff that may be good and kind of negatively
said that way better than
impact.
I did.
No, I didn't. I can barely speak English. I can't count to 3, so
can't get your facts straight.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, and that's not even game wise. Game wise, I just hope, I guess, that they have gotten the things right that we've asked for and provided something that is still worth chasing and playing and continuing to play, because that's kind of what we all want from this game, right? We want to keep playing it. We want to have something to go after. We want to play with our friends. So I hope they give us that. But my biggest concern would be that they fall short of that, because I think that's the glaring issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably. I think both you guys hit probably the biggest concern. I'll let TV close on the subject, but I think if I were to look at something specifically, and I talked about I think 2 weeks ago, is we know they're kind of reintroducing the need to get planetary material to kind of upgrade some things. So I'm very curious, and I don't want to say concern as much as caution. So we're kind of going maybe full circle on how to upgrade things from the early part of Destiny, and now we've gone to a system that seemed like it's maybe too simple with just infusion. So I'm cautious to see like where they land on that mix of completely catering to someone who may only play an hour, as we've kind of mentioned with Destiny 2. It kind of catered to the casuals, to a system that really was, you could look up YouTube videos on those relic iron runs and best helium filament runs and those things. So where are they going to land on that to kind of find a balance between people who are used to a very simple system and people who are used to kind of, or have experienced a system that was extremely grindy. So I'm kind of looking forward to, so this isn't as much a concern, but kind of cautious as to, what lessons have they really learned through all 3 years, because I think that's going to be very telling for where the game goes now that they're trying to meet in the middle there. So
good answer, man.
Cool. I would say I'm going to focus on two very specific things. One, I don't think this will happen, but man, would it suck if it did. I really hope they don't overpromise and underdeliver on the Dreaming City. Yeah. I hope it is mysterious as fudge. I hope there is a ton of cool stuff to do there, and I hope that you want to come back over and over and over again. And there better be a lot of stuff to chase there. I really want that to be an end game space that you're dying to get to, and you have a hard time leaving. I don't want them to overpromise and underdeliver on the Dreaming City. So that's one thing. The other thing is this: Trials is gone in season 4, right? Mm-hmm. Which I think is the right move. Personally, there's some disagreement in the PvP community about whether that was the right move or not. I think it is. I want them to focus on delivering in other capacities and take Trials off the table until you can give it the proper attention it needs and deserves. Because I think that you do need to do right by Trials. That's for sure, because Trials has such a rich history in the Destiny community. They need to do right by Trials, but not right now. Now's not the time. Give it the attention it deserves after Forsaken launches. So I think that's the right call. But what that means is that the competitive gamer now has one environment that is truly a competitive environment, which they've always wanted. It used to be Trials. Now that's taken off the table. The competitive playlist in Season 3, it was cool that it was there. I think it was right that it was there. We were long overdue to have a ranked playlist. It was not a good environment, though.
Right.
We saw that. I mean, the fact of the matter is people aren't playing it because it is not fun. I am a little concerned that if Trials is gone and the only truly competitive environment now is this comp playlist, if it's not a fun environment, you might lose the hardcore PvP community. The competitors in the community. And Destiny does have competitors in the community, and I think that people perceive that competitive community in different ways, some positive, a lot of negative, but they are a real part of our community. I don't fully align myself as a hyper competitive player. I've done Sowettes here and there in the history of Destiny. I've competed in a few tournaments, but it was never really my thing. But I do really want to honor those players, and I think they need a space that they can shine in. So if this competitive playlist does not offer that for them, they might be gone from Destiny, maybe permanently. And I would hate to lose that community because they are an important part of our community. So those are my two major concerns.
They were better than our concerns.
Agreed.
It was good. No, I agree with all that. That was especially that last part. I think you know that. I think you're right that they I'm all on board with the whole canceling Trials and focusing on comp, but they need to get right what they are focusing on, and I think that was kind of a touchstone of all of our concerns, right? That what they are saying and what they're focusing on, this is the time that they need to nail it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anybody got anything else? Or we about done with episode 99? I counted to 99. TV. I just want you to know that.
I think you had someone do it for you.
I did. That's true.
I wanted to make a joke, but it wasn't appropriate.
The T-Von was about to come out.
All right, so quickly, yeah, thanks for hanging out. It's been a good time. TV, thank you for coming on as always. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I had a good time.
So you can find us on Twitter at REZOcast. And obviously, you know, we stream here, twitch.tv/Hove76, which is also where you can find me. Wilson? We'll go with Triton. Triton, you go first, Alpha Asian. I didn't mean to disrespect you.
Okay. Well, no, I appreciate that, Hove, which is a rare occurrence for me to say anything like that. But you can also find me on Twitter, at Triton Please, all one word, the please being PLZ. You know, Battlefront kind of died, so not doing too much on YouTube these days, and definitely not streaming either, but I am on those places all in the same tag. And how about you, Wilson?
If you want to hit me up on Twitter, you can find me at Ryu Wilson. That's RYU Wilson. And until then, like usual, you can find me catching more Pokemon. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to do something with this whole Pokemon Go thing, and thought about like vlogging and like kind of recording some of the adventures and places that I go to do some of this stuff. I don't know, it could be hella boring, could be hella cool, really depends on how the editing goes, but maybe something like that in the future.
I'll watch it.
Oh, I mean, I'll definitely check it out. You should see Ho's face when you brought up Pokemon, though. It was
He
just
loves it,
overtaken
dude.
with
God.
joy.
He plays it off like he doesn't like it, but the whole time when we were down in Florida, he's like, dude, tell me more about Pokemon Go.
Dude, should I download the app now and try to catch them on this beach at 2 a.m.? That's what Hope was thinking.
Right, he woke me up at like 7 in the morning, and he's like, yo, I downloaded the game. You want to go for a walk? And I was like, bro, I'm sleeping. It's cute that you're excited about it. Okay, I'm done. I promise. I'm done.
Dude, there's a Blastoise right on this beach. Let's go. How about you, TV?
I'm True Vanguard. You can catch me on Twitter, The True Vanguard, Twitch, The True Vanguard, or on YouTube. I upload every now and then. True Vanguard.
Awesome. So, last but not least, we'd like to thank our wonderful sponsors, Blue Mics and Headphones, for providing these wonderful things you see here. We will be doing, next week, is our 100th episode. Ooh, look at those. Those are fancy. Where'd you get those?
From Blue.
Next week is our 100th episode. So we will be doing another giveaway for your choice of a Blue Yeti microphone or Blue Lola headphones. Stay tuned to our Twitter in the next couple days. I was supposed to do it this week, but I was sick and then traveling. So stay tuned to our Twitter at REZOcast, and we'll get something out there. But Wilson's also shaking a Cade figurine that we're going to find a way to give away. I think our last one didn't work out so well. Nobody got any of them right. So
It's understandable.
But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys, and we'll see you next week for triple digits. Bye.
GG's.